All right, so the people who are listening don't know what we're doing right now.
Go for it.
Exit 3A, the video game.
Yes. If you are, or have spent any time in Charlotte, you are probably familiar with this infamous exit. And Jonathan actually wanted us to look at this video game that they've made about Exit 3A. Now, Jonathan, why would they bother to make a video game about this exit in the first place?
I like that this is like in the background. I don't have any good answer to that question.
Well,
I mean, it's like, I guess it's just something that a lot of people can relate to, and therefore, fun game. I don't have a problem. I'm not like against it. I'm just trying to think like.
Well, if I could jump in, I mean, I live in NODA, so I have to take 3A with some regularity. So it's bullshit. It's terrible. That was the worst urban design of anything ever. I hate it so much.
Yeah.
It's really treacherous, especially like certain times of day. So the idea that it's grown so infamous that a programmer has decided to make
just the fact of it is fun. The fact, just like, so what is to you guys the hardest part of 3A? Because to me, it's like, I feel like I never would have really thought about it if this hadn't come up.
Yeah,
it's like that weird. There's like
it's the Independence merge that they're coming in hot off of Independence.
So it's that. Well, that's always I'm the one coming in.
That sounds about right.
But it's that me. It's like the panic of like, am I going to be able to get in there before I can turn on whatever it is, Davidson. Or Brevard or whatever.
Then that was gonna be my thing.
Davidson.
Getting on the initial part.
That's no problem.
Right? I usually don't have a problem with that. It's if I can make it on the NODA street.
Yeah. So there's two merges.
Well, what's the initial part? It's never crossed my mind that it's hard to.
And Independence coming. Essentially, you're coming off Independence, trying to get into the left.
You know what?
lanes.
No, I'm coming off 277 when I do.
Getting into the far right lane. So you got two of you are merging, trying to switch lanes on each other.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, got it. I'm actually usually coming off 277. I spend a lot of time on Independence, but not on.
And the other issue is that from Independence to 3A, it's a real short amount of space.
Very.
So you got to both of you are trying to get over quick.
Yeah.
And especially and you could tell, at least I can, when someone's not familiar with it.
Yes.
It's like, get out of the way.
Yes.
Go. Literally pick a lane.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I really think it's like just another like symptom of Charlotte not planning to be as big as it became.
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure back in like 1980,
that was
probably was
nothing.
okay. Yeah, it was probably fine.
Like,
well, yeah, Charlotte has a belt
and I will
on.
go now.
Charlotte has a 277 belt that's real small for an inner
and
loop.
another belt, a 485 belt too.
Yeah, it's
double belted.
They definitely didn't anticipate the growth, which is weird because that's all they want is growth in Charlotte.
Yeah. Tell me about it. But
it's almost like Charlotte is a confusing place that doesn't really know what it is.
That is 100% correct.
I've kind of always felt that way.
Yeah, that's right.
We'll get there.
Which is fine. I love Charlotte. Like I don't want to like.
It's a good city, but it's a city that is still, in my opinion, in search of a real identity. Would y'all agree with that?
Yeah. I've heard that. Yeah, I kind of wonder about that just because I think it's such a transplant city, right? It's like you got people coming from here and there and whatever the case. So how do you really
Buffalo?
Yeah, Buffalo. So it's almost like how it seems challenging to build a culture when everybody else is just kind of like bringing their own culture in.
It's kind of like like LA, right? LA, you get so many people who are moving there, but they're moving there for this. I mean the cliche, but they're moving there kind of for the same purpose, right?
Right.
Sure. Go to LA first. Here, it's kind of there's some really hard sort of contrasts. There's Banks, which is obviously a big part of the personality. Then you got NASCAR, and you've got sort of a southern element here, which I think also complicates things a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not so much in Charlotte, but the surrounding area of Charlotte.
Yeah.
Well, to me, all of those things actually should feed into giving it like an identity and a culture, is because that's what to me that's what makes somewhere interesting, is when a bunch of different people from different places
I think so, but
priorities.
But
Yeah.
just to use a little devil's advocate, it's sort of like why the Panthers haven't quite established the best fan bases, because no one's from here. They already have
Right.
their favorite team.
right.
Yeah.
It wasn't until Cam
Oh,
Newton,
okay.
who
I
I'm
see
not a
what you're
big
saying.
fan of.
So
Cam
everyone's
is-
bringing their hometown pride with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
being like, this is where I live, but this is where I'm from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a Pittsburgh guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a Panther. Not going to be a Panthers fan over a Steelers fan. Like, just to use that as a little microcosm
Yeah.
of kind of what we're talking
That
about.
makes sense.
But I do like that Charlotte's a very young city. It's like young professionals.
It is,
yeah.
That's like the biggest demographic, if I'm not mistaken, that's growing in kind of in the area. That's kind of cool.
Sounds about right.
People
At
are,
least in South End.
by the way, people are starting to get uncomfortable with how much you talk about how young the people in this city are.
Is
It's,
that-
it's a
is that-
constant.
Is that I bring it up a
You're
lot?
just like, something I like about this city?
Young.
Everyone's so young.
Oh,
Real
God.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah,
It's
he
not-
just keeps getting older and they
Yeah,
stay the
just keep
same.
getting older.
Nobody
They stay
feels
the
good about
same,
any
yeah.
of this that's happening right now. How did I get in those crosshairs?
Yeah.
You set yourself up right in them.
Did
man.
I?
Right in them.
Anyway, 3A is going to be a really great game. You guys,
It is.
I'm gonna play that game when it's
I
time.
definitely want to try it out. And
Yeah.
I mean, it looked true to form in a sense. There was a lot of chaos
Yeah.
in the game and people playing in, like him bumping in the cars and stuff. And it
Yeah.
really shows that 3A is definitely a place that's not good for zoning out. Presented by the Zone Podcast, everybody.
Look at that.
That's
Welcome to the
Jordan's
show.
job.
Clearly.
You know what I mean?
I'm taking it
That's
over at
Jordan's
this
job.
point.
I like your extraordinarily forced.
I will say that one was pretty forced. I'm usually pretty
But I'm
smooth
into
with
it. Oh, come on. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to draw a distinction here. I'm not going to say forced means bad.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to say they're always just like, and we're doing it.
you hitting that segment
I love
hard.
it.
Okay, Mr. Williams comedy.
That's fair. I did it. I did it.
Yeah, you
this
did.
you drew attention to me doing it in a truly non-professional capacity.
Please tell the story.
Wait,
Please
are you
tell the
talking-
story.
what-
I mean,
Give it to
I'll
me.
just- yeah, it's simple. Like we were at
At
we were
the
at
loft, right?
and
So the loft is in where's it at? Columbus, Georgia.
Columbus, Georgia.
It's a great spot, by the way. If anyone's around there it's a great place to see comedy in that town. But go ahead.
and should I be saying
Do it.
whatever? And the bartender was really cool and really attractive,
Of course.
and
Young, right?
really cool and really attractive, and like not there was really no like actual end game to this. But it was, like any true any
Yeah,
like
come on.
this is this no realistic end game.
Okay, all right.
You know what
Now
I'm saying?
now I
Like,
see what
because like
you're
we
saying.
were leaving, they're working
Yeah.
till like 3 a.m. anyway. Also, I'm
That
old.
was his whole thing. That was his whole thing was, hey, nothing's going to happen. It's 3
Well,
a.m.
no,
what
no,
am I
no,
going to
no,
do,
no.
wait her
I
out?
also don't think even if I
I'm
had
kidding.
tried,
It's fine,
but
yeah.
that was sort of a like, why even try?
Yeah.
Because 3 a.m. is real late.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Truly.
So I just like we were like joking around, whatever, and said something about. So what was it about, like a bomb threat or something like that?
I kind of don't remember, to be
Yeah,
honest.
there was some we made some joke, one of us, you or I, about like, well, if you needed to call in a bomb threat to get out of such
Oh,
and
yeah,
such
yeah.
situation.
Like a second
whatever.
show or something.
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
what
That's
it
right.
was.
They called in a bomb threat, so
Yeah.
we didn't have to do the second show, but really it was because no one showed up.
They're doing 2 shows again now.
Well,
theoretically.
we were gonna do 2 shows.
Oh.
but, yeah.
We sold out the
no-
first one.
Uh-huh.
but
Pat ourselves in the back, but the
Yeah.
next one I didn't have enough people to make
so
a
y'all
show.
just
yeah.
clipped it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the gross thing I did is as we were about to, and it was right as we were about to leave, I just said, hey, if you ever need a bomb threat called in, let me know. Mr. Williams Comedy DM me.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Could you like describe
I
her
don't-
facial expression?
I
No,
don't
I didn't
remember
look.
that.
'Cause
You didn't look?
No, I mean, I'm saying I didn't look because either I blocked it out. It probably wasn't good.
I don't think it was
There was
good.
no part of me that was like, this is a good idea. It was just like, do it in my brain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there was no real logical.
And truth be told, I know this is being funny. She was actually really fun.
She
and
was
cool.
very,
we were
very
having
cool.
we were having a good time.
A lot of
It
fun.
wasn't like cringy or anything.
Yeah.
Actually,
That moment was probably
maybe.
cringy, but
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
overall interaction was pretty chill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it was actually fun. We got the Sloppy Joe burger.
That was
We
very
both got
good.
it with
Sounds
Brussels
good.
It was very
sprouts.
good. You know why I got it? Because
she recommended it.
Okay.
It was very good though.
Yeah.
Jonathan, would you rather
Okay. Let's do it.
hook up with the
Oh,
very attractive?
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing. Well, give me the other one.
Good Lord.
The trade-off is
You mean develop a
No.
good friendship
No.
that could.
no,
Okay.
no. Like you have this in the bag. Like she's.
Oh, she's so cool. I hate this.
All right, fine. Let's make up
But-
a hypothetical.
Yeah. Okay.
In
okay.
Columbus,
Yeah,
Tennessee.
because I feel really.
it's right there by the state line, right? Like, very close.
and
Yeah.
her name would be what's the different? Come on, help me out.
Yeah, I think it would probably be
Hera.
Dionysus or something. Yeah.
Her name. We won't say her name, but her name was the name of a Greek goddess.
Okay,
Yeah.
fine.
Anyway.
All right, so Nike.
So Nike.
Would you rather hook up
Nike in Indigenous Peoples Day, Tennessee.
all right. I'm with it. All right. Would you rather hook up with Nike in Indigenous Peoples Day, Tennessee, and find your own way home?
Find my own way home, as in like
As in, Jason is leaving you.
Yeah, I'm going.
right. Find my
I'm
own
not
way home,
waiting.
and,
That's right.
and Uber like is not.
Yeah, you
No.
can Uber, but
Okay.
like it's
5.5
on you.
hours. Sure.
Or yeah, exactly, that's an expensive Uber.
Oh, you mean Jason drives back?
Yeah.
Without
Here.
you.
Yeah.
Because we had a hotel. Not trying to brag, but
Yeah, Jason was your ride. Your ride is
but
no
your ride
longer going to be
not
your ride.
to the hotel, to the city. To
Yes.
This. Okay. Great. Okay. So I have to figure out how to get 5.5. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Or you get a ride home, but like you will never hook up. You'll never win with Nike ever again. You'll never do
knowing it. Knowing what we know or what I know exactly what he's doing.
Oh no, I think I know where he's leaning, but like, let's just see.
Yeah, what do you got, buddy?
I can rent a car.
There it is. There it is.
I'll be all right.
Amazing.
It might get, that's an expensive encounter, but
It
you
very
know,
much.
But that's okay.
That is an expensive pair of shoes right there.
That's yeah. I think that's my answer.
Okay.
Nicely done. Nicely done. All right. Well, what's next, guys? Because I was asking questions and now I don't know.
Oh,
Let me do the political thing because this is just killing me.
Okay.
It's the funniest shit in the world.
Let's get to it.
In political news,
Is it
I'm a little
funny, though?
tired. It's gonna be a little sad, but a little funny.
I mean,
because you guys know I'm not a super political guy. I'm a little tired of all the shit that's going on, and I kind of want to
It's hard
start
to
calling
avoid,
it out.
yeah.
I'm so fucking mad
it's me
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Every single thing
day.
I see.
Fucking-
This one,
the one
I'm
thing
just
that is on my
calling,
mind. Yeah.
just to call some things that are calling some things out that are going on right now that are both funny and also just so ridiculous.
All right.
Um,
I'm getting
so-
ready for the emotional.
So we're
roller coaster I'm
familiar
about to
with
have.
in Texas they're having a measles outbreak.
Yes.
Right. This is happening. A child has died. Not the
Yeah.
funny part.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty terrible, and that's a community that's like, nope, we don't want to do vaccinations because we've only been doing them for, 100 years and blah blah blah. It's just pretty terrible. This is happening right now. This is real time as we're recording this. Texas Governor Dan Patrick, I'm saying his name because he deserves this, wants
yeah.
in the midst of all this that's going on, big push right now to rebrand the New York strip steak. Yes, the food.
Fuck you.
Wants to rebrand it because it's too woke. He said the New York strip,
What does that mean?
New York
'Cause
strip.
It's New York, I guess.
The quote is New York strip meet the Texas strip. Liberal New York shouldn't get the credit for our working ranchers. This is a real thing. New York strip isn't even a real name. I looked it up. I'm just like, what? On what? Is this just what people put on menus? Why are we wasting our fucking time on this shit?
That's
a kid
a
died
crazy thing. Yeah.
from measles. This is a real thing. And I looked it up. I was like, where did it even come from? The name was made famous by Delmonico's in New York, and that cut of meat and how they prepared
Famously
it
woke.
became so popular.
Delmonico's in the 30s or whatever the fuck.
Exactly. It became so popular it became known as the New York steakhouses they called it the New York strip.
They could just call it the "Let's strip New York of their rights." They could have flipped it around.
Yeah,
That would have
could
been
used it.
I think
this is the
that
thing.
might have been it, man. I might have just died inside. That might have been I think that's it. I think that's the one.
How if you're in Texas, can you email us? Because what the fuck is going on, man? What's going on down there? This frustrates me. I'm kind of like giggling about it because it's so dumb.
It's infuriating.
But it's infuriating, man.
I just want to know, what is the obsession with just wanting to rename everything now?
Yeah.
It's
why?
Freedom Fries back in the day.
Yeah, right.
And then Gulf of America.
About that, yeah.
And then it's all just like, what are you accomplishing? And I'll go ahead and answer it. Nothing.
It's this surface level. This is the thing that's going to raise pulses, right? This is the thing that's going to get someone's heart rate up, and it's going to get them worked up.
You know what it is? He's distracting.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He's distracting.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Because that's the Trump playbook.
Yeah, right.
Is say something outrageous, call African country a shithole. Which you remember we did that?
Yeah,
I remember that one.
Because of some other shit, some other like, not to say that that's okay, it's not, but like some like real like actually doing shit to people stuff. Let's say something that does cause that words have consequences, but let's say something to distract them from the real shitty stuff we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a measles outbreak. We need to change the name of steaks.
We did steaks,
but what about the meat? Shut the fuck up. Steaks.
That's right.
Is it? Nope. There's no measles. Steaks.
No, it doesn't mean anything.
You know what? They should change the name of measles to Texas strip steak, and then like there you go. And people will be like,
measles is very woke as far as a disease is concerned.
And people will be like, they'll be like, oh no, I'm sick. I got a Texas strip steak, and I'll be like, what are you complaining about? You got a steak. Like just rebrand. Let's just rebrand everything terrible to be positive.
No, Texas is like, our measles are badass measles. We don't even vaccinate.
They're definitely bigger than your measles.
Yeah, we got everything's bigger in Texas.
Yeah.
Our measles kill kids. These fucking assholes. Sorry, I just those two things side by side fucking drive me. God,
that's got to be it,
Sorry.
right? It's let's distract. That's got to be what that is.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah.
Or he's just a total moron, dumbass piece of shit. It can be both.
Hey, Texas Governor Dan Patrick, can I just say eat a dick?
Yeah, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
Like official stance of
Yeah.
zoning out.
Yeah.
Are you on board with this?
Yeah.
Jordan.
I'm joining with that.
Okay, we need to add this to the list.
There you
We
go.
are anti that guy Dan Patrick. The other Dan Patrick is fine,
Yeah, he's fine.
but I think, as far as I know,
I don't know much about
but
him.
Governor Dan Patrick.
Matter of fact, I don't think we like Danica Patrick either, right?
Do we not?
I don't think so.
Is
I think
she-
she's
I
kind of
think she's
weird.
gone a little. Yeah,
She went a little
weird,
right.
a little
Yeah.
Roger Dodger. Yeah,
She's got a little
Dang.
weird.
So there's only one good Dan Patrick left of the three known.
and he's really woke, which is ironic.
Is which one?
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know what's so funny? Like, I love
I
our
don't know.
list, right? Because we got Dan Patrick, and we got like all these political figures, and at the very top is still Paul Platt.
Paul Platt.
Yeah. Oh, Paul Platt is still number one for sure. Paul
Yeah.
Platt and giraffes.
Yeah.
And giraffes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the drafts. Which
like-
actually, I mean, shout out to Paul Platt. He actually his YouTube channel is doing great.
I was
Have you
about to
seen
say
it?
Yeah, I've
that's
heard.
why I'm mad. He's got like 10,000 followers.
do-
That's
yeah,
a piece
he's
of
doing the thing.
shit.
Yeah.
Good for him.
I mean, follow him. Whatever. I actually am
Well,
fine with him. This is really
he's
your
putting out some
hang
good
up.
content. Yeah, it's true.
I love Paul Platt.
No, don't
This is
change your tune
this is-
now,
Okay,
Jonathan.
fuck. But yeah, you're right. You're
Yeah.
right. Fuck Paul Platt. I hate that guy.
He posted a thing about all the shitty comments people say about him.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Just really fun, absolutely nonsensical things like his eyebrows are too far apart. Little
Dude,
things like that.
to be fair.
is so funny.
People are so
People are-
ignorant on the internet.
my
yo.
favorite
It
thing-
is funny and frustrating
Yeah.
at the same time.
One that I haven't posted yet that I'm meant to is it's from a video on the board teacher's YouTube that of me like saying dumb stuff that principals have done or whatever. And one of the comments, there's a few comments. One of them is just, I like this channel, but not this guy.
Oh,
3 thumbs up.
Ooh.
3 thumbs up.
that's crazy.
That's great.
It's the 3 thumbs up that kill me. It's
Yeah.
3 people were like, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Agreed.
Totally
right.
agree. I was gonna write it, but then I saw it.
dude.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I need to
enough.
post that.
I
picture.
was every now and again I'll like make the mistake. Actually, I won't even say make the mistake. I'll do it on purpose, but it's for a reason. Like I'll read through the comments, and I was reading through the comments of one of my videos that were like 7 weeks old. Like this,
Yeah.
posted. And this dude said something like, "This has to be like the first rap song he's ever heard."
Oh, no.
And for the listeners that don't understand why that's so ridiculous, my whole page is about reviewing rap videos.
Yeah.
Like that, it was so. That's the part that was frustrating to me.
Yeah.
Because it was like so clearly wrong. Like
Yeah.
if you would have just
Dude,
taken
it's
any
Scrolled
time.
like to the next thing.
That's the
anything.
thing. That's the thing is like there's so many of them where you're just like, but that's false.
Yeah.
like, and when it's like I don't like you, I'm just like, yeah, it's fair. Like a lot. Yeah, it's. I mean, I have a dumb look on my face. I get it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm of the opinion when I do stuff, I'm just like, I know all my flaws a lot better than anybody else who's
Right.
commenting. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like that's I'm okay with it.
you know what good thing that you like pretty good standard response to any shitty comment. You can just say cute.
Oh yeah,
Just
yeah,
cute, and then
Yeah.
restrict them.
Yeah,
Like, it's kind of
that's the move. honestly.
restricting is. Oh my god! I don't even want to talk about it because I don't want it more. I like it being.
I want people to
secret power.
rip. I want people to rip on me. I don't get enough heat. I don't have enough.
It is kind of.
enough
It helps
heat.
engagement.
I
Tell you
know,
that much.
man.
But here's the thing:
call in, like yell at me.
restricting kind of like, especially if you get the last word in before
Oh,
you restrict them,
restricting is
it
incredible.
feels like you won because no one will ever see the response.
Oh, let
It's
me
like
be
the
clear. You won.
Yeah.
Yeah, you did because they are then. Especially if and you go back and you see all their little gray
Yeah,
comments,
exactly.
and it's like for you to either approve or deny, right? I have never even opened one.
Never
to look
either.
at it,
Yeah, never
because I want to know. I want to know in my heart that person is unheard.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's such
100%.
an evil
It's
power.
that whole thing of like no one's
Literally-
around to hear the tree fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it doesn't
Yeah,
make a
that
sound.
person's just
Yeah.
scream, and then especially if they see responses that they had addressed,
Yeah.
in one of their comments, they're just in there like, no, I already said, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Like,
I
One of
love
the
it.
other things you
it's
do
great
that's
when you
funny-
go in there and there's like 5 by the same person.
Yeah.
They're all just gray. You're like, you're having a meltdown.
I love when you send them balloons.
I do that a lot.
That's
that's
really
I
fun.
I'll say something different things each time, and then just say, here's a balloon, and do a little
Yeah.
balloon emoji. It feels good.
So good, man.
It feels good.
My favorite example of like the restricted comment. Do you remember when that one dude was like getting on us, and I told him that you were blacker than the sun? I'm sure
That was
I'm
God.
sure he was tight, but like I never read it. I don't know what
Did
he
you
said.
restrict it?
Yes,
You did?
Yeah, I
That's
have no
awesome.
idea how he
So
responded.
great.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
man.
hope that-
I kind of want to go back to that video and see if there's
that's- I don't even
responses.
remember what the video
I
is.
won't. I won't open them because I want a
Yeah.
strict lack of being heard.
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
that's a messed up thing I'm saying, by the way. I want them to be unheard. Like that's pretty
Yeah.
fucked up.
Yeah, kinda
However, they fucking if they earn it, then good.
I love it more if they don't really know what's happening. Like I'm sure there's one or two people who know that that's
the
a
best,
thing.
yeah.
The people who don't know are probably so confused and even more.
How do you mean?
Because they don't realize their comments restricted, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So they don't. So there's people who probably know and probably who don't know. The ones who don't know, that's probably even more infuriating, right?
And I would say, yeah, most people probably
I would
don't
say
know.
Probably most people don't know about
That's
restricted.
what I think. Yeah.
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 Oh, yeah,
exactly.
that's right. So they have no idea. They're just like shouting into the void, slamming their head into their keyboard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
I
the
agree. That's
type
the-
of people who do these comments are not the type of people to let shit go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, no.
Yeah, that doesn't like roll off their shoulders.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, they
Oh,
definitely.
it's-
Because here's the thing: it's not even really the easiest to do. Like, I definitely had to like Google it and like go through a couple steps. Like, it's not
Oh,
like
really? Yeah. I actually don't know how to
figure
do
out
it
how to
yet.
do it.
Yeah.
It's- in my opinion,
Pretty easy.
it wasn't easy. I had to like Google. I couldn't tell you how to do it now. I'm sure if I Googled it,
I'll tell you right now. You click on you go to their profile.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a little drop down menu, the little 3 dots. It says restrict.
is that? I felt like I had to go through my setting. All right, well, whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so let me ask this. Can we think of an example of like trolling's been around even before the internet?
Sure.
Can we all like? I'm just trying to in my brain for a second. I was trying to figure out like who was doing this before.
But what-
Right.
yeah.
And what did it look like? And also,
Who heard it?
Or was it like? Or is this something that's just a brand new thing in humanity where we're kind of dealing with this shit? Certainly
I
at this
mean,
scale, but
I think, I mean, of course, people have negative things to say and make hurtful comments about people that are fair or unfair or whatever. But trolling, so far as we understand it, I mean, you just didn't have access.
well, yeah, I would say like political cartoons, right? Like I think
Sure.
that's maybe the only example I can come up with right now where people are like taking it, printing it.
right, or call in to the show on the radio
Yeah,
or whatever.
maybe, yeah.
But like in
Yeah,
terms
Baba
of
Booey and
saying
bullshit like that.
right, saying something directly to the person who you've never met, who made
Yeah.
whatever content that you want to make them feel bad about, that is a thoroughly modern concept.
Yeah.
Yeah, in that aspect, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it'd be like
what-
letters. It'd be like, this motherfucker. He's gonna hear what I have to say
Yeah.
in 6 weeks
We're-
when he
we're-
gets my letter.
we're not even 20 years into that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess YouTube comments
Wait.
started right about now. 20
You know
years
what?
Ago.
Actually, I have to kind of take that back. Wasn't there? Do y'all kind of remember this story of like there was this dude that kind of put together this fake, like radio broadcast of like the aliens invading?
Oh, yeah.
and
That was-
people actually
or-
started. I forget
Orson
like,
Welles.
Orson Welles.
Yeah, Orson
sorry.
Welles.
Not
Yeah.
Orwell, Orson
One of the
Welles.
greatest filmmakers of all time.
Yeah, that's trolling to me.
that was
Yeah.
okay.
That's pretty
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah. You're not wrong because people.
That story's hilarious.
like the communities and we're
Yeah.
going crazy with
Yeah.
this shit.
Yeah, that's trolling.
That story was. I unfortunately heard that it was massively overstated. How
Oh,
much?
really?
How much people
Oh,
went
okay.
crazy
Oh,
over
that's kind
it.
of a bummer,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did happen. Like
Yeah.
people did freak out, but it wasn't like this mass national. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that.
No, I mean,
I listened to a whole
something.
radio lab about it.
It's not nothing.
It's not.
I was
nothing.
about to say, even with people freaking out, that's
Yeah.
still like, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's interesting.
That guy-
Yeah, I
yeah.
do think there's probably been trolling, but it feels like the trolling of, like I said, like political cartoons. I know was like actually a big thing. They've been around since the
Forever.
start of the
Yeah.
I think those things probably qualify, but I feel like the people who trolled then seemed to be more active and aware and had
Right.
some intelligence and were doing it with purpose, as opposed to some guy just writing in "you're gay."
I was right.
Oh yeah,
You know what,
I mean?
You know
Yeah,
what
okay,
I'm
I see
thinking
what you're
of
saying.
is like, imagine like cave paintings. Like someone goes in there and just draws, and they don't even have like language yet, you know. So they just go in and like draw a picture of him getting like,
Oh, that's funny.
getting like fucked by a horse or whatever, like just something horrific, you know, or just drawing dicks.
Just an extra leg on the
just an
horse and
extra
being
leg
like,
on the horse.
"Look at that."
That's funny.
It doesn't have 5 legs. You know, like
Just the comment section of cave drawings. That's incredible.
that's really
That'd be funny if they did, like, they have a primitive version of, you know, language of some kind, and
Yeah.
it was just "you're gay, you're gay,
Yeah.
you're gay." Like,
Oh man, I wish I actually knew this of when did the sense of humor sort of sector of your brain sort of come alive. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to know that because I think it's been around for a long time, but I don't know. Was it around?
I don't know.
Did they fart and
um,
find that shit funny? Because
I
it
know,
is.
I know that primates, like primates that are short of human, we're primates, right? Is that yeah? So primates that are not humans, they hear. This is kind of a bummer. They hear music it's nothing. It's noise. It's no different from any other noise. They've done studies that they don't respond
Really?
to any like
You
the
mean
way that-
specifically primates, not other animals? Because other animals, I believe, do experience music.
I don't know.
Okay.
But I know what I heard is like, you know, they studied what happens to our brains when we hear
Mm.
music
Mm-hmm.
and what happens to our brains when we just hear noise. And our noise brains are the same between us and primates. But our music brain, their brain when they hear music is the same as
That's a
their
total-
noise brain.
total
and it's our
bummer,
noise
dude.
brain.
Yeah,
It
that's kinda
really
sad.
is,
Yeah.
right? This
kinda
whole
sad.
like concept of them like being advanced, and they are obviously highly advanced.
I believe
but,
it's
like,
98% the same DNA, right?
something like that.
Yeah,
Something.
I feel like I just saw
I
that.
think you're-
somewhere.
I
A lot
you're
of
right.
crossover, yeah.
Actually,
I saw that too.
When we were
That's right. Jason and I watched this this
Secret Life of Animals.
phenomenal
Yes,
show. It was just a
we
nature
had
documentary.
Well, I didn't, but we had food. After,
I had some food.
After the show
So
at the loft.
The food was kicking in. Tell you that.
Oh, yes.
So we found
it's so
ourselves
funny
watching-
how coy we are about that. But we were watching. The Secret Lives of Animals.
Yeah.
And
it was like
dude,
North American. Yeah,
It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's like the way it's shot. We were talking. The way it's shot. It looks like script. Like
it seems impossible that they
looks
got
scripted.
cameras. where they
Yeah.
got
yeah,
cameras.
it like everything. It looks like a director was like telling the animals what to do.
Well, I mean, over a meal, I'm sure it did.
But didn't it though?
Yes, very
Yeah.
much so. It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
What he doesn't realize is that there are script writers who literally create that.
Well, but they don't tell the animals what to do.
no, they
is what
write
I'm
it in
talking about.
reverse.
I know.
Oh, okay. All right.
I know. And what I'm saying is they did
A great job.
They did a great job of that
Yeah.
to a degree I haven't seen in anything
Yeah.
else.
Yeah, because there was some like it's one of those things where you're like animals that you've never really seen before. You'd be like, oh, that's a lizard. Yeah, but it's a lizard that gets away from shit by
Dude,
going underwater and
Yeah.
breathes in a bubble.
The fish.
That's its
the
thing.
fish.
Yeah.
There's this fish that somehow 10% of them, which is even cooler.
Yes.
To only 10% of them, they look out of the water and they somehow just know that there's other water.
That's
Like
it's
a
way
few
upstream.
hundred yards away.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
And they just like, and for whatever reason, they're like, I want to go to that water I for sure can't see.
So there's like a pool, and there's like 30 of these fish in there. And like 10% of those fish have the instinct to go.
They
"I'm gonna
literally
get out."
jump out of the water and do like backflips for, what was it, 6,000 times its body length.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they like stop. They'll like take
Yeah.
little breaks to like get in little puddles.
Uh-huh.
And there's somehow, I don't
And the
remember
tail,
the thing, but
yeah.
the tail, they can like
Allows them to
absorb the
breathe.
oxygen out of the water into their tail. Like
it-
briefly, like not really well, and then
Yeah.
they flip, and then they get to this water, and they jump into it, dude. It's the
It's
craziest
crazy.
Wow.
thing.
It's like this weird GPS that they can do
That
this.
is really cool.
And-
What if I said all
and they
this and
do
you
it-
were like, none of that happened?
Yeah, it's fascinating because they don't. It's alien. That's alien to me.
That's
this,
what we were
this
talking about,
weird
yeah.
instinct of getting to do that because they like do like a specific bend and then they like flip or whatever, right?
Sure, yeah.
It's 18. I think it was 18 hours they can survive outside of the water.
Was that how long? it was?
18
Yeah,
hours?
yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was
Yeah, I don't
18 hours.
remember.
Wow.
that's even if it's half of that.
It's
I'm pretty
a
sure it's
fish.
18.
It's a literal fish out of water.
And it's just
on
like the
purpose.
mouth is going. You're like, oh, that thing's dying, and then it's like flipping up there. You're like, holy shit.
That is 18 hours,
Yeah.
especially for like us who are made to be on land.
Right,
Right.
right.
No way.
Dude, I can barely stay alive on the earth on land for 18 hours if I'm outside.
that's pretty good.
And so the lizard, I think they did it obviously like juxtapose these two things. As lizard was getting away from something that was attacking. It was a bird. It was a bird. Remember?
Right.
Because remember you loved hummingbirds.
I do
He
love
was
hummingbirds.
Really into hummingbirds. It was
I
like,
like
we're not
hummingbirds.
watching a story about hummingbirds.
There was a
Jonathan.
hummingbird,
He kept-
and I was excited.
it was the
Okay.
villain.
Yeah.
And so this lizard was like, I got to get away from this thing. It's gonna
Live
eat
long
me.
enough to see yourself become the villain. dude.
Mm.
So it jumps in the water, right? And it's like literally just it's a lizard like on a rock, and you're like, how does this thing work? And it starts breathing, and the
Oh,
whole
that's right.
surface of its body is like a bubble. So it creates this bubble.
The bubble's like
so every time it
rising
would
and
breathe, the bubble would
expanding and contracting.
Yeah. So it had enough oxygen within its surface bubble.
Wow.
Insane,
That's
dude.
yeah.
You gotta watch this shit. Man.
It's
so
like,
great.
and it's different. I've seen my fair share. You know, there's a trillion nature documentaries.
Yeah.
I've seen probably like 5, 6, 7 of them. Other
Sure.
than this one, I was like, this is different.
You know what? Yeah, because now that you mention it, how are they able to keep producing so much content? And, like people are still watching it. Like how many times can you watch like a gazelle?
I
get
really
chased
do think
down?
they had a different aesthetic
Okay.
goal.
Because it was North America.
Yeah.
Or it was the Americas specifically. I'm
Well,
pretty sure.
but
that's
also
what it
I
was.
think that is that thing we were talking about where it really seemed truly cinematic,
Mhm.
almost like there was a plot, like the way that they shot it and everything. And there were like shots that are like inside of the. I think they just had
Remember the
cameras.
mouse?
They just had cameras everywhere.
They had cameras everywhere. So this one was about this field mouse and how it would like bring leaves and shit to let it know
Signposts.
where it was. Signposts and they don't know
Nice.
because it would
Yeah.
it would go like hundreds
Hundreds.
of like it would not.
They zoomed out of the forest and showed where all the little markers were. They
Yeah.
like zoomed
It-
out up into the
for
air.
us, it was be like a whole state. It was like this
Yeah,
huge
pretty
thing,
much.
and he would bring little markers, whatever. And at one point, he's getting chased by an owl. He goes down the hole. There's a camera in the hole looking up. The mouse comes in, and you
Yeah.
see the
And then the
owl
owl's
fly
coming at
up
you.
in space.
That's
It was
that's a
what?
perfect example of what I'm
Wow.
talking about.
Yes.
Like
It was
the mouse
insane.
runs in as the owl's coming. I'm like, this can't be real,
That's impressive.
Yeah.
but it is.
Wow.
Yeah. He was so on food, and I was just drinking.
Yeah,
It was
right,
fun.
yeah.
I
It
was real
so
high.
Great.
I was really. It was.
You're on
I was
that- you're on
real.
that Texas strip steak.
I was.
yeah, buddy. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was.
We had such a good time, man. That,
that
was really fun.
very fun.
That's awesome, man.
We talked about. We got some mileage out of that. That's
yeah,
good.
we sure did. All right, so I have
We got to talk about the album at some point.
Oh yeah, do you guys
Yeah.
want to talk about the album? Should we get that in? Or do-
Yeah,
do
we
we
can talk
maybe
about
after the break?
yeah, where are we at, Thomas?
We're like 30 minutes in, so we got.
All right, yeah, I guess we can get to it.
We can get to it now. Do you? I have the Wikipedia of it up, Jordan. If you want to look at anything or talk about it, because this was your. This was
yeah.
Your
So this is
get.
the album I picked for this week's episode. Jay-Z's first album, Reasonable Doubt, my favorite album.
This is your favorite album?
This is my favorite album.
Oh shit! I don't think
Wait,
I knew
period
that.
or Jay-Z?
Period.
Oh damn.
Period.
Wow.
I remember like exactly like where I was. I remember the day like I heard this album. Like I remember it vividly. Like this
That's
album.
amazing. So it hit you like that immediately.
Yes. From the
Damn.
first listen.
You were young.
No, I didn't hear it when it first
Oh, okay.
came out.
All right.
No.
96,
I heard this album Christmas Eve of like 2003. Like I got this
Okay.
way later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Is that
man.
post Ether?
Yes.
Okay.
I got posted because what happened was Jay-Z. I started becoming a Jay-Z fan because I heard his Black album because like
Yeah.
there was a whole hype around
Great
the Black album of okay, this is his last one. He's retiring. So I was like, okay, let me check this guy out. And so I started to like the Black album. And so then because of that, I started to go back into his discography, and then that's how I came across Reasonable Doubt. And yeah, just hearing this album for the first time, no other album had ever grabbed me like that.
Yeah.
Just from the jump. Like, it
Yeah.
was just so amazing, and just to think about the story behind the album, that was supposed to be his only album.
Right. That's I was
Really?
going to bring
Yes.
that up. I was going to bring
Wait,
that up.
why?
Because he was. That's what he said. He was
Yeah.
like, I'm going to make one album and I'm out.
Yeah,
Holy shit! I
because
didn't
the
know
whole
that.
plan was, and this is really just kind of another reason why I love like Jay-Z and just the do-it-yourself attitude. Like he wasn't able to get a record deal. Like he was pursuing a record deal, trying to get signed by other labels. No one would sign them, so he started Rockefeller Records with Dame Dash and another guy named Biggs Burke. And so they put this album out, and the plan was Jay-Z just kind of wanted to like work on running the label and work on that side.
Oh,
so this was
okay.
going to be like the debut
that I
album
did
for
not
the
know.
label, and then after that, Jay-Z was just going to be business guy.
Exec. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which he's ultimely kind of has
which
become.
and that
Yeah,
has
he's doing
ultimately
both.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, right. So do
Get
you
you
know
a
how
man
many
who can
albums
do
he's
both.
put out since? Like,
Oh
is it
gosh,
a
I've
couple?
kind of
9?
lost count. Oh no,
No,
we're
more
way
than
past
that.
that. Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
because Blueprint 3 was like the 11th album.
Oh shit, you're right. There's 3 blueprints.
I was gonna ask. There
yeah,
are
so
3
we're
of them.
past. We're like 13, 14, somewhere
Wow.
around there. Yeah.
And then
All right,
there's
so he
Watch the
found some
Throne.
success and said, "All right, I don't. My other plan can take a back seat until."
Not exactly.
No?
Because at the time that this came out, see, this came out in 1996, and so around the time
It
of
didn't
that,
blow up.
It didn't blow up, not initially. It wasn't even received as a quote unquote classic album
yeah.
initially because
I read that.
So this
Yeah.
doesn't mean anything at all. But I mean, '96, I was listening to rap. I was like very much listening to rap. The fact that this did not hit
Yeah.
my radar at all
kind of makes sense.
exactly.
is kind of it's a little weird anyway. And
It
maybe
is
not
a-
crazy, but it's a little weird.
I think that's kind of what
Yeah.
Jordan's saying is like it found its classic status
Wow.
years and years later.
Yeah, it did. It was a little bit of a slow burn. The Source magazine, yeah.
God damn, Jordan.
I'm all right with a slow burn.
But the Source magazine, which was very popular at the time and like was really held in high regard as far as like trusting their opinion on rap music, gave this album 4 out of 5 mics. So even like at the time, it just wasn't really received as a quote unquote classic album. Especially in '96, you kind of had Nas coming off of Illmatic.
Okay. I had thoughts
Maybe
about
even
that.
It Was Written had came out by this time too.
I
You
can.
had
Let's
Biggie
come back to that. I
Okay.
can answer that question.
And you had Biggie Smalls as well, who put out his album "Ready to Die." I believe that was '95.
I did expect him on that album, and I loved it.
Yes,
I was like,
Brooklyn's
holy
Finest,
shit.
amazing
I was like,
track.
what?
Yeah, but you can kind of see like those were kind of 2 of the people that were really shaping the sound of New York rap, like Biggie with the whole Bad Boy production and kind of like
Yeah.
the more pop R&B influence that had with him, and then Nas, who I would say was maybe a little more boom bap at the time,
Ooh,
and then
I don't
Jay-Z,
know that term. Boom bap?
it's kind of more like old school, like scratching records, like
Okay.
like Illmatic has a
It's
very
referring to the sound of the drum, like to the sound of the drums.
Okay.
yeah. I think it might. So I probably
beat.
refer.
Yeah.
So anyway, Jay-Z's
great. I love
album
that.
didn't
Never heard
really, I guess, fit the sound
Okay.
at the time, especially the way he was talking. Because I mean, he's not the first rapper to talk about selling drugs, but
Uh-huh.
the way that he did
Yeah,
it,
dude.
like you never really kind of heard it spoken about in like almost like a kingpin kind of way.
Yeah.
Totally.
sure.
I
Like,
was. You're bringing up all the things
Yeah.
that I was going to bring
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, because he wasn't just making it seem like he was another guy on the corner. He was like, no, I'm the the dude in charge. You can even see on this album cover, they're dressed all like mafioso style and just kind of.
Yeah, there's even like one point where a guy where if I'm here remembering, because I listened to it twice, and it was there's one guy who's like a someone who's selling. He's like, yeah, I'm not gonna let a rapper do this thing. It's like that's
and
bullshit.
They start cocking guns.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's like, so Jay-Z's obviously was different than the other rappers.
He was already talking about himself. He's kind of been remarkably consistent. He was already talking about himself like a CEO.
Yes.
In the context of selling drugs, and like, oh man, my head's swimming. I have so many thoughts, because I have heard the album before, but I think I've heard it before all the way through. Maybe not. And I listened to it all the way through twice, and then some scattered tracks more than once this time. So I have just a lot of thoughts.
There's a couple people on the album. So there's one moment, and at least that I caught, that he's kind of fucking with West Coast rappers.
Oh, the 22 twos.
Yeah. But then there's also.
Quest.
But yeah, and then there's also a moment where he has, I'm pretty sure it's Snoop on there, isn't it?
Snoop was not on the album, but I'm
glad
you.
Though, right?
Yes, he sampled Snoop on that song, and Nas on different tracks.
Okay.
But yes, he sampled Snoop on that track called "The Evils," which again, just another
The Evils is an
amazing track. But that kind of goes back to my other point of like where rap was in general at the time, because West Coast was really big. That whole sound was really big too. So again, just another thing of Jay-Z's sound. You could say maybe ahead of its time, or just didn't quite fit in, but yeah, just
because that was coming, right? That beef was coming, is what you're saying.
No, the beef was kind of already. It was kind of already there. I felt like.
I was going to look up the timeline of that.
Yeah, I need to look like. Yeah, I feel like because Pac and Big are kind of. They might have already started getting into it. Because that was 96, so it had to be pretty close. Yeah. I think Big died in like 98.
I was about to ask. Okay, I didn't know.
And
if it
then
was
Pac died before him, so it had to be like kind of right there.
Okay, so it was in the middle. All right,
I'll say I was the whole time thinking of this album as a conversation with Nas, like not necessarily like subconsciously.
Okay,
but like this. So I looked up the dates. Illmatic was 94, so that had been 2 years before that. It came out like a week after this.
Okay, so they were close.
This was June 25th, I think I read, and then it was July 2nd. And I'm wondering how aware. Well, obviously he sampled Nas on that. How aware, I wonder, was Nas of Jay-Z, because they have different. The sound is somewhat similar. It's not. It's definitely distinct, and there's the Brooklyn Queens rivalry of it. That I mean, like I don't know how much of a rivalry there was, or that this record was. I don't know the history of the beef that then culminated with. I can't remember Jay-Z's song, but then Ether. But like. I wonder if those release dates had anything to do with each other. It's just pure coincidence. Because Dead Presidents 2 is like I couldn't tell whether he was like just an homage or whether he was kind of picking a fight a little bit. Like I have to look at the lyrics again, but I remember just being totally thrown by that, because like something like he not samples, but I guess quotes Tribe Called Quest later, and that that has a little bit more distance behind him, right? He's sampling an album that came out 2 years before that. That's new.
Yeah, sure.
So like it's almost like he's either trying to announce himself as an equal, or he's trying to a little bit start something, or I don't know. I just remember being totally like, why is Nas on this album?
Okay.
But I love, that's a great song though. I really like it. There's really no skips.
That was my take from it.
Yeah.
Again, there was one or two that I just like didn't quite latch onto, but I listened to the whole thing twice, which I'm surprised, to be honest. That said something for me anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty but although it did sneak up on me though. Like that, which is just a thing with me in general. Kind of like I can never really trust my first listen of anything.
No, I feel the same way. Yeah. So tell me again. You're saying that Tribe Called Quest, they sampled it, or they were on someone?
No,
Was
Jay-Z
on?
sampled
he said-
Tribe Called Quest.
He's saying, "Can I kick it? Yes, you can."
That,
Yeah,
oh, okay, I
And
got you.
in
All right.
22
That song I know, okay.
22s or 22 twos.
22 twos.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I've always been a fan of Tribe Called Quest, so that's why I was wondering if that was like there wasn't a beef. It was like they
Yeah, I
like
don't.
them.
I don't
That
know what
wasn't
that was
big.
all about. If
Yeah.
that was just carrying on a legacy, like I don't know.
Yeah, that was just like a, I guess, paying homage.
Homage.
Yeah, that was just
Okay.
like a nod. Yeah, the Nas thing.
The Nas thing feels like it has to mean something.
I would actually say at the time, no, because I kind of remember doing like a little bit of a deep dive about how this all played out. What kind of like got started between them two was after Big passed,
Okay.
and then the quote unquote King of New York title was kind of like up for grabs at that point.
Jay-Z
Okay.
claimed
And
it.
then Jay-Z on, I want to say it was his second album, he put out the song called Belong to the City or something like that. And he was kind of using that song to kind of like take claim of like, okay, the city is mine now.
Yeah.
And
Nas,
then
like, not so fast.
And then we start to escalate from there. But yeah, off of the first album, I don't think it was anything like that.
So was it? So what was the point then? Like, what was it?
Of
Just
sampling Nas?
Yeah. Was it? I mean, it's also called Dead Presidents 2, which I know. I don't think. What song is that off of? I don't even remember. It's on Illmatic, but
The World Is Yours.
it is The World's Yours. You're right. And like just calling it Dead Presidents 2 implies that he's saying like this is the next version. I mean, I know you don't think so. Okay,
No, because there
why it's
is a
different.
Dead Presidents 1, which is arguably better than 2, or at least the second
that
verse.
album?
No, that's what I'm saying. It's not on the album. Dead Presidents 1, the original version of Dead Presidents is like the music video. If you watch the music video for
I
Dead
have no
Presidents,
idea.
it's completely different lyrics. And you could
Really?
argue at least the second verse is better than Dead Presidents 2.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so you think it was just that was just pure homage,
I wouldn't
just like this,
I just think the
like how
sample
this
fit those.
sounds.
Yeah,
yeah.
I
and
think that was
fits
all it
the-
was. Like how it sounds, it fits the record. Like yeah.
You also think that it was written coming out. It was like a little over a week after. Total coincidence, like nothing to do.
I think so too, just because of like how music used to come out back then. It's
Right.
like you had to have your release date planned for
yeah, true.
so far out because they had to like print the records up and like all
Yeah.
these
Yeah.
things. Like I don't think it was the case.
She was old.
Where
and
it's
slow.
funny, but it's funny you mentioned that because there has been like a running joke of within the past few years of Jay-Z release some music whenever Nas does.
Oh,
Step
really?
Over. Yeah, so that has been a running thing.
So
as
that
of
is
late.
funny if you look at it in that context.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, even if there was no beef, even if there was no connection outside of the sample, like it's still to me they are inherently connected because their sound is the timeline just like there's just sort of I just see a lot of contrast between the two, but with a lot of similarities as well. For me, so my read on like Illmatic is essentially, this is really oversimplifying, but like here's what life here is like. Is like maybe one of the major themes of Illmatic, I think.
Okay, yeah,
and
sure.
I Nas am the best rapper because I'm documenting this. I'm documenting this life. I'm documenting this world.
Okay.
Whereas Jay-Z, I think the album could have just as well be called Friend or Foe. Because I feel like Reasonable Doubt is like, which the title is awesome, by the way, too.
I would love to know why you
it's
guys
him-
think. Why do you think that? It's,
Yeah, I'll come back to
Okay.
it. It's related to what I'm saying. It's like, to me, this album is about friends and enemies. It's about I'm the kingpin putting drugs, saying like, oh, you think I'm just some drug dealer? No. I built an empire. And that's in saying like there's validity to what I did, even if it was like illegal, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You should be impressed with what I did, essentially. And the like here, and it's like not in a bad way. It's very bragging. It's a
Yeah.
very braggy album, which is, a thing in hip hop anyway, but in a way that's, I think, different from Illmatic. You could poke holes in that, maybe. I could be wrong. But the Reasonable Doubt, the title, to me, it's the first title is like, it has to do with like crime, right?
Yeah.
And and so that represents that side of himself, right? And then the other, again, this is my own thought, but and then the other meaning for me of Reasonable Doubt is saying it would be reasonable for you to doubt me.
Yeah, I can
like
see
it
that.
would be reasonable for you to think that I'm just a drug dealer. I'm just whatever, and I'm about to show you that you're wrong.
I can see that.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
can see that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know at all the background of what you guys are saying, but that's
That's just his
I'm
backstory.
hearing
He built like a drug empire basically.
Yeah.
Do
you have a favorite like song, or is there a section of or any like?
That's so hard to say. I guess for the album, it would have to. Man, gosh, yeah, because there's just so many quotables. If I'm picking one song, I guess I would go with "Dead Presidents 2."
Dead Presidents 2. Yeah.
"Dead Presidents 2" is just Jay-Z at his lyrical best, probably. Like those verses on those songs could stand the test of time against pretty much any other verse in his career. Like those verses are just so hard to top.
Yeah. So let me ask, like, just from again, I'm so removed
I think that's
from
probably
this.
my favorite too.
So I'm gonna ask,
It's
like,
close, but
this is gonna be 101 for you guys or whatever. But I like a tone of this. It's all super upbeat. It's a party. It felt like 90s music to me.
Okay.
Like that kind of thing I thought was very interesting. There wasn't like not that there would be and maybe in this, but it was like it all felt like the tempo was high. It was like it all felt like not positive, but there was mostly like high notes. You mentioned that you love like bottoms.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
music.
actually read it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I feel like there are songs.
The
like,
first like 4 songs to me were like I felt like I could have been at a party.
Yeah.
And it was just
oh yeah, like Brooklyn's Finest, Can't Knock
Yeah.
the Hustle.
Yeah.
Like I see what you're saying there, but then there's
But
also
lyrically, there's a lot of edge to it. There's a lot of he's like
Yeah.
I think when Jay-Z's at his best, in my opinion,
I'm
he's-
not at all talking lyrically. I
fair enough.
Okay, just so you know,
Okay.
just like just the tempo, the beat, all
There-
that.
maybe that was an
fun
intentional
and-
contrast. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Jay-Z, when he's at his best, in my opinion, is when he's like cold. Like he's like I am like good luck fucking with me a little bit. When I don't like Jay-Z is when he tries to be to me there's a difference between being sort of like his aggression is filtered through like almost like understatement and like but then the prime example of like when I'm just like, oh, what are you doing, buddy, is Monster. His verse on the Kanye West song Monster. Yeah. It's just him trying to be like, here I am, motherfucker, and it's like that's not what you do, man.
I do. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying.
I
now.
don't buy it. I call bullshit on his verse in Monster. Every song on here, he's right in that pocket of like he's being intense. He's sort of picking fights. He's putting in it, but he's doing it. He's being cool.
Yeah, I agree with
cold.
that. I do see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Even though I'll admit I do like the Monster verse.
You like the Monster
I do
verse?
like the Monster verse, but I will say I see exactly your point.
Yeah, I don't get enough. I don't. Come on, man.
I don't. Hey, I don't. But no, I see your point because Jay-Z definitely has like this cutthroat nature about it. But you're right.
like
It's like
quiet.
the way exactly.
It's like a quiet killer.
Yeah. So I definitely I see your point there. But man, yeah, I love this album, man. There's so many like quotables on this album. I think a line that like just runs through my mind all the time is I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That line.
Where's that
resonates.
from? I don't remember it.
That is on, I believe, Can I Live?
All right.
Yeah, I believe that's on Can I Live.
Can I Live is
Can I Live?
I love
yeah.
Can
Great
I Live.
song.
That's one that I definitely kind of.
So one song that I'm
responded to,
curious to, ain't no ends.
Yeah.
That song. I don't know what else is it. Ain't no.
Okay, yeah.
Is it, it's not N
that-
star A. I thought that was.
I mean, it is. I was just.
That's how it.
Did I do that bad? Should I
on
not have
music.
done it that way?
No, it was
Okay.
funny.
All right.
I wouldn't say it was bad.
So that's a weird song. Like I'm not.
You know what? I'm gonna actually bleep that part just so.
Yeah.
Oh
I can't
my
believe you
God.
said that on the podcast.
God.
This is
You're a
crazy,
monster.
but
Love. Yeah. So that song, I'm not saying it's like bad. I enjoy it. But it's like, is there more going on to that, or is it just kind of is what it is? You know what I mean? Is it just kind of like pretty much all of it is just kind of like on the surface? It's a fun, interesting song.
I agree.
but,
I think that's pretty much all it is. I would even say pretty much like Cashmere Thoughts is kind of like that as well. Like just kind of, and we've talked about this before. Like even at least back then, like even the most like mafioso, drug dealer rappers or gangster rappers or whatever the case may be would usually have to have one record that was catered to women because that demographic usually buys more CDs.
You have said
that song's
before.
not catered to women. It's literally saying I'm gonna cheat on you all the time.
Yeah, bro. There are misogynistic songs that women love that
Fair
are
enough.
hits.
Yeah,
fair enough.
I kind of was
Okay,
actually gonna
catering.
push-
It's different. Is the word? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
But
can I jump in on this?
Yeah.
It feels like there's so many amazing singers out there. It felt like I don't know who those people
Foxy
were.
Brown
Yeah, I
was
know
on
it was
that
Foxy
one.
Brown, and the guy who was singing the guy part, who was like,
Oh yeah, I don't even know that.
some
I
of
don't know who
that
that was
was a little not. It didn't feel like there was a ton of talent there, but it felt like a specific choice. Am I crazy?
that's fair. I think.
The talent part, you're absolutely right. Because from what I remember, yeah, he just got like it wasn't like a professional singer.
It
Like,
feels
he
right,
had
though.
somebody
It
that
feels
just
right.
like was around the
Maybe, yeah.
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 So you said you think it's someone who's just like kind of in the studio?
No, it's not. I think it was
Oh,
definitely
okay.
somebody that like it wasn't like an actual singer. It was just somebody that I guess worked for Rockefeller
Got
or
it.
something. Yeah, it wasn't like an actual like R&B singer doing the guy part.
So it would be sort of remiss, at least I think, that how many movie quotes and stuff that were used throughout that I thought was really interesting and really specific choices. The album opens up with the F.
Yes.
Murray Abraham character from Scarface.
Is that what that is?
Yes. So
Yeah.
it's F. I remember his name in the movie, but it's literally the setting up Tony Montana
Yeah.
to go do the first thing where they're in the bathroom and they kill his friend Angel. They cut his arms off and shit with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
And he ends up getting away with the drugs and
Well,
the money
that's it.
because
He's
he
a
threatens
cold-blooded.
them.
He's a cold-blooded killer of the drug
Yeah,
empire.
but it's a setup.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a setup too. So there's something there. I in my brain I was like, there's more going on here. You're picking the one guy who in the movie was a turncoat. Like he was an informant to the
Yeah.
FBI against all these drug dealers and
Oh.
shit. So that and in that scene in particular was Tony Montana supposed to die,
So
but
I'm
he
gonna-
doesn't.
Well, maybe that's it. I'm supposed to die, but I'm not gonna.
Maybe.
Well, no, because if you're listening to the intro again, that very last line was instead of whoever the guy in the movie was, it was Jay-Z's going to stick your arms or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know if I remember.
That's how it was phrased.
Somebody else speaking it, like
Yeah.
not it because it's not the actor who's saying it. They have someone who kind of sounds like F.
Yeah,
Murray
exactly.
Abraham saying
So
it.
I remember in that Scarface scene,
Yeah.
the guy in the car saying like, "Okay, Tony, meet me here, whatever. And if you don't have the money, then my boss is going to."
Yeah.
In that recreation of it, Jay-Z was the boss that was being referred
Ah,
to, which again is setting up the fact of like, hey, I'm
Interesting.
at the top of this.
Yeah.
Kingpin.
Yeah.
So I do.
Oh, that makes more sense
Yeah.
now, knowing that who he was playing. Oh, interesting.
I do
Shit.
have one more thought about wasn't he I know at some point I know this from Ether from Nas's diss track is that at one point he was dating Foxy Brown or was with her in some way, shape, or
That's
form.
what was
that
said.
later or is that just some diss track stuff?
Look, I'm gonna be honest. I believe it happened.
Yeah.
Um,
The line in Ether about it is
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah, I think something happened.
I'm gonna not quote. I'm gonna incorrectly paraphrase it. You said Foxy Brown like you because you had
Go ahead.
your face in her puss.
Yeah.
What you think she
Getting
liked you
girls now
because
because of your looks. yeah.
Because Jay-Z's not the most amazing looking man.
Nah, I don't think anybody would really say that. You're right.
It's really
That was
funny.
pretty amazing.
Yeah, don't they say he looks like quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys? What's his name?
Oh, Troy Aikman. He does
Yeah.
kind of like
You
a
ever
black
heard
Troy
that?
Aikman.
He looks like
He
Troy
does.
Aikman.
Pull
Oh
a picture
my
up.
God, I gotta look
Yeah,
at
yeah,
it.
pull a
pull it
picture
up.
up. It's-
I gotta
Because
look
in the
like a meme.
meantime, I want to ask this because there's another movie quote that I remember in particular, and they're very specific quotes that they're using. That F. Murray Abraham is a very odd quote still, even though I know kind of what you guys explain it to me.
Sure.
So the other quote is from Carlito's
Their
Way.
mouths go
Yes.
together.
Carlito's Way when his cousin gets killed and there's like they're double crossed essentially, and his sort of his instincts or whatever get him out of it, and he's like he has no bullets. He's faking that he has guns, and he's yelling at the guys outside saying I'm coming for you. even though he doesn't have any ammunition or anything like that. It's just an interesting choice. It's a famous quote, so it may just be like cold-blooded, like just for that. But I don't know. Just curious.
Wait, I'm having a hard time remembering it. Was that the OK
He
I'm
says,
Reloaded one?
Yes,
or-
exactly.
That
Yeah.
was on this album?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's like, you guys, yeah, okay, I'm reloaded. You wanna be big time? You're gonna fucking die big time. And he
Which
kinda-
song was? Do you remember?
Oh,
what
that was right before Brooklyn's Finest. Yes, I do remember
Yeah.
that now. Yes, I do remember.
Politics as Usual is that. That
I'm trying to think of which is my Brooklyn's Finest might be my
Politics
favorite.
as Usual.
But, I mean, again, just
anyway.
it's hard.
It's hard
yeah.
to say, right?
Yeah.
I think another. I mean, all of them are pretty much notable to me, but another notable track is the ending track, "Regrets."
Mhm.
I just feel like that's something because again, with as braggadocious as rap can be, it's not often. I'm not saying Jay-Z's the first person that did it, but it's not often, especially I think at that time, that you hear someone like reflect and
Except
Kinda-
except for Nas.
yeah, sure. But like just kind of reflect on the okay, maybe I've went down the wrong path.
Yeah.
You know?
Which feels like not a
Is it-
removal, but different from
that
the,
is a twist on the rest of the
Yeah.
album because you know not having combed through the lyrics bit by bit, I can't say this for sure, but it seems like most of what he's saying on the album is I'm the guy.
Yeah.
Could it
Yeah.
be what could be the regret? I guess if it's not just the
Just
the
this
story.
life that he
I mean-
has lived. Because I mean, throughout the album, he's saying like again some real cutthroat things.
Yeah.
Like there's a line on The Evils, right, where he's talking about we used to fight over building blocks. Now we fight over blocks with buildings that make a killing. Like it just kind of talking
Yeah.
about just someone that he knew since a kid, since they were kids, and now they got like they're warring over like
Yeah, right,
you know
right.
property.
Okay, so
Property
that
and
adds like a
businesses, yeah.
third. All of this is who knows how intent. That adds kind of a third layer actually to the title for me of Reasonable Doubt is him
having
reasonable
yeah.
doubts about his own life, and that because I listened back to a lot of it today. I didn't listen to the whole thing today, but it had kind of slipped my mind that Regrets that kind of wow. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to it, but that kind of makes the album now that I'm thinking about
Yeah,
it. Like that
for
kind
sure.
of that keeps it from being sort of like all right, you're the king.
And it
Great.
also gives sort of an arc to the whole story. If this is
Right.
his one album
Yeah.
he's going to do, suddenly there's
Right.
maybe a
point, yeah.
satisfying ending to it all. Like
And
there are
it-
regrets
yeah.
along the way, kind of thing.
And it's good to it's good to acknowledge like as much as he's calling himself a kingpin and means it, also presumably he was involved in lots of death. I would just think if you're that
Yeah.
big of a deal.
Oh,
that-
for sure.
Yeah.
And he really gets into that, you know, later on in his like throughout his career, not necessarily saying that like he murdered anybody, but he even talks about on this track, "You Must Love Me" on the second album. Like he talks about like, yeah, I've shot my brother, I've sold drugs to
Yeah.
my mom. Like he kind
Yeah,
of
Jesus.
regrets.
It's
Yeah,
a
that's
lot of
heavy.
it's like he's constantly saying, "Don't judge me, do judge me. Don't judge me, do judge me. Don't judge me, do judge." You know, a little like he's like maybe like self-reflectively like I'm awesome, I'm great. Oh, I'm the worst. I'm great. I'm the worst. Just because of his complicated life. Not,
Sure.
Not
yeah, the complication makes sense. Like
Yeah.
I'm great, but it came with
I'm
I
great,
paid
but,
for it.
Also, that guy was my
Yeah.
friend.
Mhm. Yeah,
you
right.
know, like
yeah,
or
yeah.
Shit.
it's pretty freaking great.
That was man. Thanks for exposing us to that. That's
For
badass.
sure, for sure.
real. That was great. That was really fun.
Any recommendations for next week?
So I have
Is it
one,
your
but
turn?
I'm gonna bring
Okay.
it. Yeah, I'll bring it in the next thing because I want to double check the album because
Okay.
they got a couple
Okay.
great albums. I landed on the bed, so it's Gomez is the name of the band,
Okay.
and but I want to choose the album, so
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
So I'm thinking we should keep this.
I'm down.
as a
Yeah, let's
rotating.
keep
thing.
also, I was thinking we should also do. I mean, again, through the lens of comedy, also comedy specials. Maybe you
Yeah,
guys
that makes
have.
Okay.
a lot of sense.
do that
Actually,
Maybe we do comedy specials too and mix it
I
up.
think we should. Yeah,
You know what
I
I
agree
mean?
with that.
I'm not even opposed to movies that maybe you guys have seen or haven't seen. So we can mess with it.
We can do all kinds of we'll call it
Yeah.
homework.
Media.
There you go.
All
Media.
kinds of media.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break.
Okay.
Tell us again where we're at. Zoning out.
Zoning Out podcast. Oh, you called me
Presented by the Comedy
Presented
Zone.
by the Comedy Zone.
The comedy. Go to cltcomedyyzone.com for a full schedule.
To be fair, where
course.
we're at was
Yeah, that wasn't very good. So, all right. Okay. Thanks, guys. We'll be right back, everybody.
I don't like everything Jay-Z puts out.
Yeah.
Like that song "Young Forever." Do you remember that?
not off
It was
top
one
of
of the
head.
singles off of Blueprint 3, but he had that hook. It was like "Forever Young."
Yeah.
I wanna-
Oh, right. It's
I
sampling the
hate that
song,
song.
the Forever Young.
That song
The
is
Blueprint
so
3
terrible.
is just like not the best.
I mean, I like the album. I ain't gonna lie. But again, I'm a fan.
Yeah.
What do you want me to say?
It's not bad, but it's just. I mean, I like what's the big single off that one? The huge song, like massive.
On to the
song.
next one was a pretty big
No.
single. Death of Autotune.
No, dude.
That's
It's-
definitely the biggest song on the album.
okay. I'm about to. I remember the title. Empire State of Mind, dude.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's like
I thought it's the
that's
only
like-
song I know.
That's
I
like
thought you were
one of
gonna-
his
You're
biggest
right.
songs of
It's
all time.
It is his
it
biggest
might
song
be
of
his
all
biggest
time.
song.
It is. Yeah, you're
that's
right.
on Blueprint 3.
right.
He said it's. Oh wait, what was the song you said? It's definitely
Death
the
of
biggest.
Autotune.
Death of Autotune's
Yeah.
definitely the biggest.
You're right. 'Cause, I mean, it was the first single, but yeah, no, you're right. I completely forgot about that one. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not. It doesn't.
Was it off your radar because it's such a big sort of like I don't know, like
I guess it was
mainstream
off
hit?
my
It's like a
radar
pop.
because
it's a
it's
pop
not-
song in
yeah,
a lot
it's
of
a
ways.
pop
It's
song.
don't get me wrong. It's a good
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
like it. I'm not.
It's an
against
anthem,
it,
right?
but-
It's like kind
It's
of
an
an
anthem.
song.
Yeah.
Like it's
Interesting.
not in my library.
There's
Yeah, okay.
Oh really?
Yeah.
There's
Mine
a moment in. Have you watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine at all?
Actually, I haven't.
Okay, I know
He talks
neither of you
about
have.
it a
Okay,
lot.
that's gonna be homework.
fine.
At some point.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it's-
All right, I'm down for
But
that.
even though it's propaganda.
Yeah.
But there's this line. I know. I thought you'd like.
I mean, it's
I thought you would like hate
it's
that.
such-
I thought
I
you would
do.
hate like
Correct.
that. Yeah, I knew it. There's one part when he's like arguing with someone about someone from LA. It's actually I don't want to get it, but he's arguing with someone about songs about like songs about New York to songs about LA, and this other person saying there's no good songs about New York. He's like, what are you talking about? What songs does LA or where are you from? She says LA. He's like, damn it, there's so many good LA songs. and he goes, what New York? It's the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. And then he pauses and he goes, where dreams are made of? That's grammatically odd. And I've always thought that. As much
Yeah,
as I
it's
love
very
that song,
funny.
I've always been like, where dreams are made of. What it like makes I get it, and it's not I'm not like mad at it necessarily, but it is just kind of like that feels grammatically odd.
Okay.
He got it.
Yeah, that's fair.
The way he says it is so that's grammatically odd.
So we're back, everybody. This is Zoning Out, presented by the Comedy Zone. So that was awesome, by the way. I know you guys are talking about the album still.
Yeah.
Jay-Z's awesome. Nicely done, everybody. So mine, which is probably this is one of my favorite bands that I don't know if a lot of people really maybe know. I
think
it's
I've
hard
heard of
to
them,
tell,
but they've never been really on my radar.
I've seen them a number of times, and I've seen them at all sizable venues. They were on the Beale Street Festival. It was like it was the biggest festival I've ever been to. It was like 6 stages in Memphis, and it was literally everyone. It was like John Mayer to Joe Cocker to like every band in between. It was the craziest festival.
So blues focused, I'm gonna guess, just because
No.
of its Memphis.
No, these guys are. I didn't realize actually how sort of long they've been around, but 98 was their first album.
Okay.
Oh,
and I thought it
okay.
was later than that, but they go into the like late 2000, like 2011, I think, and then they have some solo projects that go later than that. And I can't remember how I found them or whatever, but to me, actually, they have. You've heard them before. They were sampled.
How much do you want to say about it before? we
Yeah,
listen to
that's
it?
fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
So they got a couple great albums. So the name of the band is Gomez, and I told you guys I was kind of kicking around which album to do, and it's really hard to pick.
Yeah.
They have a pretty amazing like greatest hits like album. If you were to put it's fantastic. But I'm going to do their first album,
Debut album.
debut
Nice.
album, '98. It's called Bring It On.
Okay.
So it came out April 13th, 98. Bring It On, Gomez. And I'll tell you the story about their name because they're like a British rock group is what they are.
What year did the movie Bring It On come out?
I was, dude. This my literal first thought was, "Is this the soundtrack for Bring
Wait
It
a
On?"
minute.
No,
Bring It On was
affiliation.
like Bring It On was like in the 2000s.
No affiliation.
All right, yeah,
But
yeah,
that,
man.
but just I do want it known that that was also my immediate first thought.
Yeah, pretty straight. Like I would say like British rock, indie rock kind of album.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm excited for you guys to hear it.
Nice.
Oasis-esque.
I don't think Oasis could hold even come
Okay.
close to these guys.
All right, throwing down.
Like
I like it.
not even in the same ballpark.
Okay.
man. Yeah.
I was just trying to think of an indie-ish.
Because again, I don't know how much I want to
although,
say.
yeah.
Like the talent
Yeah,
of all the
don't.
different people. It's like
Yeah. Let's.
yeah. We'll get to it.
I don't know if you'll like this or not, but so the dude from Oasis
I don't know
kind
if you'll like this or
took
not. It's a
issue
great-
with Jay-Z.
I do know
was like
about
the
that.
first rapper to headline.
They were like, "It's not rap. Is not music for this
Oh,
festival
yeah.
or whatever."
Jay-Z was like the first rapper to headline Glastonbury.
Glastonbury.
Yeah.
Is that how it's,
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
I
remember.
think so.
I don't
Yeah,
know if that's the however you
I
pronounce
think
that
Glastonbury.
festival.
I think
And so
Glastonbury
yeah,
Festival.
one of the people from Oasis
Yeah.
said like, that's not
Yeah.
something. along
I
the lines
fucking
of
hate
And then-
Oasis,
music.
to be
and then-
perfectly honest. I
That's
can't
fair.
stand those
I don't
guys.
have
They
any
suck.
special connection to them. I think I like their hits. They're kind of fun.
They had
Yeah.
one inflated album, and those guys
Yeah.
were two dickheads to each other.
Yeah, it seems
so
like-
much so that
I
they-
am kind of fascinated by their hatred of each other. It's
They
pretty
got
funny.
popular because they're from Liverpool, like the Beatles, and everyone started comparing them.
Oh, okay.
And that's where
That's
a lot
a
of that shit
bizarre-
came
that's
from.
a ridiculous
and it was
comparison.
just the inflation is like literally every aspect.
Well, then
of
you're
that.
gonna love.
Inflated
Then you're
ego,
gonna love
inflated-
this. It'll help you hate him more.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
one of them. I don't remember which one. Noel, whatever. What's
It's
the-
I
dickhead
don't
A or
even
dickhead
remember which
two.
one.
Yeah, but he was like, yeah, it's not. This is a rock festival. It's
Yeah.
not, Jay-Z's not rock, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then you remember what Jay-Z did?
Jay-Z did a cover of Wonderwall.
He came out and did a cover of Wonderwall.
and I thought it was great.
That is amazing.
I
It was
loved
not
it.
great.
Holy shit.
But it was not great but it was great.
That's amazing.
Like it was
Hey.
odd. The fact that he did that, I was like,
I had it
you're
in my
awesome.
iTunes library. For a little bit. I'm like,
Okay,
awesome.
maybe I'll give it another listen
Holy
because
shit.
he's playing guitar on it, and
Yeah.
it's so funny watching him play guitar. He's so clumsy.
It
It's
does
hilarious.
look clumsy. I will say it does
Really?
look clumsy.
But
yeah.
it was
Plays,
but it was
that's
a
cool.
but it was all about the statement.
Yeah,
and I
it
love
was.
that he was just like he's like, hey, I heard you,
Yeah.
and I'm still here.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
And I'm
know.
gonna do your dumb song.
And I'm gonna do your dumb song.
Awesome.
The song that every white 19-year-old knows how to play
That's
on
yes,
guitar,
100%.
and me, who's literally double that age.
Jonathan, do you always carry lotion with you?
No, I was waiting for someone to ask about that.
Oh boy.
I jerked off in the no, just kidding.
I mean, maybe you did. Because,
no.
I mean, like, here's the thing. That's not the typical travel size. You know what I mean? Like, if you were just
Yeah,
carrying around to
it's
keep your
big.
hands moisturized, that's a little big.
No,
For
I
that?
will explain to. It's a very simple explanation. I didn't have time to put lotion on my face earlier, and I don't like how it feels not having it on, so I brought it inside and did that in the bathroom in the mirror.
Okay.
That's all it is. I mean,
It's certainly worthy of ball busting. I think a little bit, right?
Have at it. Say what
Yeah.
you'd like to say.
Sarah V's cute.
It's a nice lotion. It has hyaluronic acid and essential ceramide.
No, I think it's no.
None of those words are real
I'm
things, but-
familiar with Sarah V.
Yeah.
I'll have you know.
That
Thank you.
surprises me 0%.
But I find it interesting because like you don't have like a bag or anything with you, so you're just carrying this around in your pocket.
I did, and I just took it out to bring inside because I didn't want to
great
bring my
question.
whole. I don't want to bring my whole little bathroom
Your makeup kit?
in.
Yeah.
And that to me that's weirder
Okay,
than
so
bringing in. It was in my pocket, but it kept poking out, and I thought it was more embarrassing. If y'all had
that
seen
would
it.
have looked
I
very
did.
odd.
And
I
then
did
I
see
would have
it.
had like more explaining to do. I thought
I'm such a good person
it
that
hap-
I actually let it go.
Did you see
I
it? You saw it
100%
sticking out of my
yes.
pocket?
I was like, I'm not gonna bring that shit up.
But listen, say what else you want to say. I just care about my
So
skin.
does like the inside of your car not have mirrors at all? Like you really need like
I got here at 7:44, way earlier than you.
You did.
Wow.
Yes,
And
you did beat me that time.
and
Did
was
happen.
like, I'm gonna go inside because it's time to be inside, and I will go in the bathroom and I will apply this lotion to my face. Sorry to undercut all the fun.
I feel
but
I find it funny that suddenly now he's like, if I got to be on time,
Right. Yeah.
Now, I mean, listen,
Yeah.
that's just the right thing to do as a person.
It was convenient for the moment.
That's right. I've been there.
I also didn't. Oh, you know what?
Oh, I act like a pompous asshole when I'm on time.
I will
Trust me.
actually make fun of myself a little bit for this. I was out
Finally.
there. I was gonna fuck off. I was
waiting.
gonna just go fuck yourself. But I was in the car about to do it in the car. But I was like, if Jordan drives up and sees me doing this, it's gonna be weird. And
Yeah, maybe so. Okay. Fine. All right, fair enough.
yeah.
Good work. You guys, I'm going to do a Would You Rather with you guys right now. And
The way you introed that was dead serious.
I'm breaking it down because what I'm doing is I'm trying to make it a little bit different this time because I want to get to something else. We had a friend of the comedian, a friend of the show, who had a couple of nice things to say. I have a couple questions that I want to get to, but before we do that, I want to see if I could challenge us with a different kind of Would You Rather.
Okay.
And that is so this is a Would You Rather if you could instantly be the best at the following examples, which would you prefer to be the best at, right?
Okay.
I like it.
So I'm going to go through the list really quickly because it's not a flattering list.
Oh.
If you could be instantly the best at the following, which would you rather be? Politician, but you're in a red state and have to appease to your constituents.
Okay.
Like okay, I'll ask.
Yeah, we'll ask you in a
afterward.
second.
Yeah.
Politician. Warmonger. You are just mongering the hell out of war.
Thank you for that follow-up.
yes, thank you.
You're
Like a cheesemonger.
No, this is war. You're mongering war.
What does? Okay.
A
go ahead.
liar. Yeah, the most deceitful. It is not for good. It's a bad lie.
Okay.
Okay.
A smuggler. You can smuggle. You're a Han Solo smuggler. And
Or
you-
it's
but you're not immune to
human
getting caught.
trafficking, right?
I don't know.
Okay.
You're smuggling some not good things. Like you're going to jail forever if you get caught. HOA president. But you got to be an asshole to follow the bylines, okay?
By laws. but
By
that's
law,
okay.
excuse me.
That's really funny.
TSA agent, strictly by the book, fellas. And like that George Clooney role in Up in the Air, the firing squad.
Oh, that one's the firing squad.
Firing squad. Whatever
That's an
that's
important distinction between a firing squad in which you
Correct.
shoot people to death.
I forgot what it was called.
And I don't think it has a term.
Yeah, he's
It
like
was-
they
he's
bring him
professionally-
into
He and Anna Kendrick
Yeah.
professionally go, and their whole job is to go fire people.
cut the
so
fat.
that the
Oh.
company doesn't have to do
Right.
it.
Oh,
Correct.
gosh.
Which is, I
Yeah.
guess, maybe a real thing.
Pretty sure it is actually.
That's messed up.
It's also like from Office Space. Those guys. And I also had
no,
defense
they're
attorney.
consultants coming in to try
Yeah,
and
defense
make the,
attorney.
Defense attorney, but it's like everyone you defend's
Is for
hardcore
sure guilty
and
of something
fucked up. Yes,
heinous.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you're there to just because that's a part of our law. You got to defend somebody.
All right, run them back real quick.
Okay. Politician, but
But you
you're
have
in
to
a
appease
you got to
to-
appease to your red state.
So essentially,
constituents.
Republican
You
politician.
got to be and you're real good at it. Real good.
Okay.
Warmonger. You're monger that war. Liar.
Kind of sounds like number one.
The most deceitful. Smuggler. You can smuggle some shit. HOA president is still funny to me. TSA agent. Firing squad. Defense attorney.
You keep saying firing squad.
I just don't know what else to call it. George Clooney and
The guy who goes to fire, because firing squad means you could be excellent
know.
at shooting someone to death.
By the way, as an aside, I believe it's Kentucky, but I could be completely wrong about that. They're putting a person to death by firing squad. It hasn't been done in
What?
like 12, 15 years.
it's
or
because
something
you
like
can legally you can request it. Is
something
that right?
like that. Yes.
So
yes.
the person wanted it.
and I saw
Honestly, like
and I saw like
that kind
the
of might
setup.
be the one for me too. If I was going to think about that, if they're
That's
all
weird,
shooting,
dude.
no. Here's why.
Well, okay, hold on.
This is
How
now
good
we're
of a
doing
shot
it. I know,
are
it's
they?
fine. Well, a firing squad means it's like like it's multiple people shooting.
But I do
Okay,
think
all
that
right,
there's
forget
some
it. Fine.
there's some
Let's
there's
be
some weird
serious.
nuance to it though, because I don't think everyone everyone's like aiming for your heart. I think there's like a weird thing where some people don't. Some people miss on purpose. I know it sounds
they
like I'm
could-
making that up.
Probably they're psychotic people too who would intentionally do shit like that. Fuck. Okay.
Yeah, and so there's something else
That
about it
undercuts
too
what I
that's
was about
very
to say.
weird. I don't think you're not standing in front of a post like and you're 30 yards away and they're all standing there in a line. It's not like that. I think you're sitting in a chair and I think the firing squad is literally like 10 feet away in another room. It's weird,
Honestly,
and I have research to do, but it was like just crazy.
Well, I'll say this: if, and obviously you can't take it out the variables, but if it was like we are all shooting to kill, there's 10 of us, and we're all shooting at your head and your heart.
Mm-hmm. It's not your head. I'm like 90%.
Okay, well, let's say well, fuck that then. But if it is like we're all intentionally for sure trying to kill you fast, your head and your heart, whatever, and it's multiple people, and they're gonna get you real fast. To me, that's preferable, certainly to hanging, which I don't know if anyone does that anymore.
I think
that's
absolutely.
I think that's preferable
Not
to
here,
lethal injection. Just the experience of the slow thing. It may be painless. I don't know, but
I have my theories.
The shooting thing would be like if they did it the way I'm describing, you'd be dead real fast.
My understanding with the lethal injection, which is starting to become a bit of an issue, and I know
they can fuck it up.
Well, yeah, because the first drug that you get is you're not going to respond.
Oh my god!
So they could be putting literally fire into your veins.
So it's the end of Midsummer. Oh my god!
Exactly.
Well, never mind. But
no, it's exactly right.
That does not ruin the movie. It's an amazing movie.
No, but that's so there were some people who were. This is not a healthy
cruel.
way.
That's cruel and unusual.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but people who do that, I'm gonna paint with a broad brush here, perhaps unfairly, but probably not.
Mm-hmm.
I would say if that's your job, you might be getting off on something like that. Knowing that they're
my god,
knowing that they're sitting there experiencing pain without being able to respond.
Sure.
Oh, that is heinous, man.
Well, I look at it's funny that you say the firing squad because I look at like guillotines, things like that. Those things, my understanding of those things were pretty flawless. You just
no, dude.
Oh no,
no. Maybe when you first start. But like the French Revolution and stuff, they were having to do it like 5 times.
No.
Yeah, dude.
Oh god.
Maybe the first one because it's like freshly sharpened. I don't know, but like it's like a famous. Fact check me on it. I'm going this like I heard this.
Yeah, no, me too. Most of what I've seen.